Hi guys, Christelle Tricot Stitch here. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for spending a little moment with me again. I thought I would have run out of topics because it's my third podcast in a row, one by week. And I thought I wouldn't have much to tell you this week, but I've just made a little list, and actually I have plenty of things to tell you, so yeah. So first of all, about the lockdown, we are in week 3, end of week 3, and I must say that week has been the hardest so far. Much more anxiety, much more, homeschooling was very hard, and yeah, not an easy week. I hope that you guys are doing okay, and that it's not been too hard on you, and well, it has not kept me from doing some things and working on my projects, so that's a good part. One good thing we did with my daughter, she's 12, Ambre. One very cool thing we did is we set up a book club. So it was just the two of us as a start, and she was like, well, I could invite my friends to join, and I was like, yes, me too, I could. And she invited her friends, I invited my sisters and my friends, and of course it's a virtual book club for the time being, but we're quite happy about it. We had our first meeting last Wednesday, and it's a book club on books and cookies. So basically that's the principle. Each month we will have a new book and a new cookies recipe. We will have the whole month to test, and what we're going to do as well is just hold on one sec. No, that's okay. And what we're going to do is I'm in my front yard, so that's the street just behind, but I wanted to sit in the sun, enjoy the sun, and I have beautiful flowers behind me, so I thought it was a perfect spot to share a moment with you. Yes, so one book per month, one cookies recipe, and with weekly meetups on Zoom. And once the lockdown is over, we will do a monthly meetup in our home. So that's very cool. We chose for the first book, we chose together. We tried to keep it very simple and something. We chose something that was free on Kindle, already in the public domain. So it's At the Mountain of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. So it's not an easy read for 12-year-olds, but they are really motivated, and we're doing that together. And I've just grabbed the audiobook as well on Audible, and we're listening chapter by chapter together, her and me. So that's a mother-daughter thing. That's very cool, and actually it's quite interesting. I've already read it, so I know what it was about, and I enjoyed it very much. And she was keen on discovering it as well. And what we're doing for the time being is we have just read the first read and listened to the first chapter together, and it begins with the details of an expedition to the Antarctic, and we have detailed the trip on the map. The expedition is doing it, where they are making stops, and also to discover the the land of the Antarctic continent. I didn't know there were mountains there. The mountains had names, things like that. I didn't know, so it's very interesting. So yeah, and I think their friend, well, their friend, my daughter's friends, were very happy to be able to join us on Zoom and have a little chat, and my friends as well were quite happy. So I mean, and the parents of my daughter's friends were ecstatic. They were so happy we could do that. Yeah, there's a bit of wait. I hope it's not too much trouble with the audio. Fingers crossed. I won't be able to know until it's finished. So that was for the lockdown. I hope it won't last too long, really. I really hope it will be. They're already talking about, you know, ending it in France and letting people go outside by batches, but we do not know what batches. Is it by areas? Is it by work areas? Is it by age? Is it? We don't have a clue. There was at one point something said about children not getting back to school at all, and not before September. And that's not good news. I really hope it's not the case, okay? I mean, it's just it's the holidays right now. We have a two-week break, and that's awesome because that means no homeschooling for 2 weeks, and I'm so happy because I hate homeschooling. I can tell you now, I hate. Okay, but that's it for the lockdown. Okay, next, Brioche Queen. That will be my only item in the design section because I wasn't able to do much this week, actually. Maybe that's why it was not a good week as well. I wasn't able to do lots of work. So I just made a bit of progress on both calls for the video tutorials. I mean, it's not close to the end, but as far as the video tutorials are concerned, it's almost done because I just have the second decrease to record the tutorial for the second decrease, and then the last rows. So once this last decrease tutorial is done, I just have to finish that project and film the last rows, and that's it. So it's nearly done, and that's cool because it's done in English and it's at the same status in French. Yes, French, same thing. That one is ready to, I'm ready on this one to film the next tutorial. And on that one, I still have a couple of rows, of rounds. But yeah, it's almost done. So yes, that's cool. And what I did is I have a shop here who specializes in, knitting supplies and notions and everything, because my material to wind up balls is broken. Well, I'm managing, like right now, doing just the odd winding the odd skein in a ball and things like that. But to prepare the kits for the Brioche Queen, it's not going to work out. So I went online today, and they've resumed shipping. Actually, the website was completely closed. It reopened only yesterday, and now it's resuming shipping, which is a good piece of news. So they have some shipments to take care of prior to taking care of my order, but I was happy to be able to place my order this morning. So as soon as they are resuming, well, as soon as they are able to take care of my order, I will receive a badass winding station. I've taken I wanted to have something really positive to look forward, so I took the Knit Pro jumbo ball winder it's a beautiful object, and the matching you know, umbrella, yeah, the umbrella to put the skin on, and you know, yeah. So I took the Knit Pro ones with all the beautiful colors in the woods. It's lovely. So one good thing to look forward to, yes. And yeah, grab a coffee, okay? I'm just really comfortable in the sun, sitting on my porch, and enjoying a cup of coffee. So join me, please. Take your coffee. So I was actually in dire need of comfort knitting this week. So what I did is I posted a picture of that on Instagram, but I did cast on a 5th Brioche Queen cowl. I don't think I will be, you know, telling you enough about Brioche Queen cowl in the near future. I see at least 2 other in my future, because I intend to test each and every color combination I'm going to offer you as a kit. I'm very professional about that. I want to test it first. So, new Brioche Queen cowl, and I love that one so much. So what I love to do as well is matching fingernails and matching marker, progress marker. I have bazillions of those in the shop. It's lovely, lovely glass bubbles. That one has a little, I don't know, glass nuggets with a lovely dried flower in a color that's matching my cowl, guys. I love that so much. Okay, so for that one, I wanted to, you know, test something different, a bit different. So what I'm using here, you remember if you watched the last podcast, I showed you a crazy skein of yarn. It didn't have a name yet, but it's Dreamy Ara, and that's Dreamy Ara in a cake, and it's gorgeous. There are shades of mint green, grey, and I went wild with the speckles. So yeah, it's shades of the base color is mint green, mingled with turquoise, some greys and black speckles, and a little very pale yellow with purple speckles. So that's the base color, and I went wild with the speckles I put on top. So there are some very deep brown purple. There are some intense pink, purple pink, fluorescent yellow, my preferred colorway, and yeah, and it's really lovely. Yeah, and so I'm knitting that with a new colorway. So it doesn't have a name yet, but it's matching the minty. Oh yes, it has a name. It's Mint Palooza. I don't know why. Don't ask. When inspiration strikes, you just grab whatever comes. So Mint Palooza, that's the colorway. Okay, so that's for the dark color of the brioche cowl. And then for the light color, I thought I'd try something different. I dyed a bunch of minis last Saturday, and so I'm going with 5 minis. So it's Minerai, Eleanor, Mint Palooza, Framboise sous acide, and another new colorway called Sangria. And it works I mean, the association of those colors works very well, basically because all those colors you can find in Dreamy Ara. So there is really a beautiful harmony here. So that will be available as a kit as well. And I will post some pictures of my progress on Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I dyed last Saturday. I didn't have another in-between dyeing session because my husband worked all week, so there was no fun dyeing session this week. It was only, it was fun, but it was not as fun as the one from last Wednesday prior the last. But I still, came up with new colorway ideas. I cannot help myself. Even if I'm dyeing only pre-orders, I always have something cooking, with. I always have something cooking with new colorways. I love to come up with new ideas, and I'm on a quest to find. Well, I have some colors here I want to find. I'm not there yet, so I'm trying. I'm exploring. I'm always exploring and trying new things because I really want to achieve what I have here, and it's not easy, guys. It's not easy. And one thing I started to do is knit some little squares to show you how the most variegated colorways knit up. I think it's very useful. For example, that's a brand new colorway. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. Something with blueberry something. That's it in the full skin. So it's shades of khaki and brown and mustard on one part, and the other part is really intense purples with intense speckles. And there are some areas left almost untouched, to give some contrast element when you knit it and put it in a cake. So yeah, so this is how it knits up. That's on a very small square, so it will pull, but it will be different on each project depending on the number of stitches. Okay, it won't look the same on for example, I think on socks it will yield a almost self-striping results, almost, with very, very thin stripes on socks. I might try it on socks as well, actually. Now that I tell you that, I really want to try that on a sock, on a basic vanilla sock. Yeah, I love those speckles. So I did some minis as well, and mohair and silk. And the more I dye on mohair and silk, the more I think you could dye anything on mohair and silk and it would look good. Everything is gorgeous on mohair and silk. I want to knit each and everything. Look at those nuances, it's gorgeous. I love that. So that one of the new, one of the fun colorways I came up with last Saturday. Blueberry something. I might stick with that name. Blueberry something. Okay, so that's another one. You see, it's not putting the skin in the same way, so you can see the colors playing a bit differently. It's the same color as my irises here, the purple. Really iris-like purple. I dyed some sangria. I think I will have a section called apéro in the shop. I don't know if you know that word, it's French, apéritif, apéro, is the short word for apéritif. And it's, you know, when you sit down before you have a drink, basically. It's to have a drink with little things to eat before the main meal. Mm. And people are doing lots of apéros during the lockdown. You need to cheer one you up, you need to cheer yourself up, I mean, so that's why there are some name in my shop like Aperol Spritz or Champagne Rosé. That's sangria, okay? Oh yes, so it's a, what is it? Not really burgundy, it's a deep red, but with orange undertones. It's really lovely, and that's one of the colors I'm using for the 5th Brioche Queen cowl. I dyed some green. Lovely shade of green. Same as, yeah, very close. It's very spring-like, you know, yes. And it's even more gorgeous on mohair and silk. You see? I mean, it's shining. So beautiful. Okay. What else? Oh yes, that one, Min Paluzza. So I showed you the mini. There will be, I've been dyeing a lot of minis. I've not put them in the shop yet because I want to put some kits together. So as soon as I have enough to put some rad kits, I will do an update in the shop. But this is Min Paluzza on single. Oh, I didn't tell you the base, but that was more in silk and sock. And that's Min Paluzza on single. Actually, that's one of the colors you find in Dreamy Ara. It's a, you have some mint in there, some turquoise, and some dark navy speckles. And on mohair and silk. And that's what I'm using for the 5th Brioche Queen cowl, that colorway. Exactly the same on mohair. So that you will get in the kit. Well, half of that. I dyed lots and lots of hot pink, fluorescent pink. I know you guys love that colorway. Each time I dye a batch, it's gone very quickly. On when I do some shows, it's the colors that I'm sure I won't get back home with. I love that too. And I dyed some on mohair and silk as well. I think that might be my favorite color ever. I have the growing pile of yarn. Yeah, the last one I want to show you is that. So it's the Merinos silk and yak base. You know, it's that gorgeous, gorgeous base, which to me is really close to being liquid yarn. It's so soft and it has such a drape. It's gorgeous. And I tried to just do a fluorescent pink, so that's the same colorway as this one, but on the base with yak. So that's why it's not exactly the same color, but I mean, it has such a luster. The colors are gorgeous, and I have 3 like this. You can knit a Notre Dame, a fluorescent pink Notre Dame would be awesome. Okay, so that's it. The rest I want to show you is some things I did for collaborations. So I'm just going to, you know, put that away. Up. Just quickly, those two together are just killing it. I love hot pink and mint together. Okay, so I have two great collaborations ongoing right now. So one is in the shop. Sorry, one is in the shop, and it's with, you know, I don't know if I mentioned already, wool bags. They are French bag makers, and that's a bag from their shop. I have 4 of their shops, 4 of bags of from their shop. So that's their incontournable bag in the size M. And we decided to work together, and I came up with coordinated colorways. One I showed you already. Well, you know, or both already. This is one I showed you on the last podcast episode. I didn't have a name yet, but now it has a name. It's Jean Fetish. And this is Sangria, which I've just showed you. And those are just perfectly coordinated with the bag. And so there is there was a little giveaway on both our Instagram accounts last week. Maybe you've seen that. But this is a kit as well, and you can purchase the kit from my shop or from their shop. I will put the link in the show notes. So there are 2 prices because there are 2 sizes. The bag comes in 2 sizes. So that's size M, the biggest size, and it's 55 euros. And there is a smaller size, size S, and the kit is at 50 euros for that one. So yeah, you could knit some really great socks with that, just coordinated with that. Matchy matchy. I love when it's matchy matchy. So I think that's my favorite project bag right now. I love the fabric so much, and the colors, and it's really well made. There are some pockets inside. Well, you can see them because it's really dark, but you have 2 pockets inside. A little strap to take it on your hand to grab it, and it closes with a drawstring. Not a strap, a handle, sorry. Handle. And it's very, you know, you can knit like this. If you want to knit on the go, it's perfect. So wool bags in the shop now. And the other collaboration I've been doing is with Sarah. So she has an Instagram account which is Les Petites Mains de Pomelo. So I will put it in the show notes, don't worry. And for Sarah, she has a knitting masterclass to knit socks. So in the you can buy. She has a box actually. It's a knitting box. In the box, you have 2 skeins of yarn and 4 knitting patterns for socks. And it goes from the basic vanilla socks, and it builds up on the basic sock to you know, try your hands at some modifications, patterns, some different techniques, and so that you can become an expert in socks. And we decided to work together, and I'm, you know, enabling her knitters with 2 colorways. So one is completely wild, and it's called Extravaganza. That's that one. And one is more on the semi-solid and more, you know, not as wild. Very lovely and sweet color to make a stitch pattern pop up. And that's more for the vanilla ones. so you don't get bored knitting just stockinette stitch for a whole pair of socks. You won't get bored with that one, trust me. And I knitted some samples. So that colorway is called Sweetie, and it knits up like this. So that's very, very sweet and lovely and perfect for lace or, you know, some texture. Okay. And that's Extravaganza. So each skein is different, but it's the same color scheme. And this is how it knits up. Okay. So those are exclusive to Sarah's box for the time being, but I don't remember the date. I think it might be like end of April. They will be in the shop, but I will reconfirm because I'm not sure. I don't want to tell you something that is not correct. I will reconfirm the dates, but as soon as masterclass is done, these will be together. These two colorways will be in the shop, so you will be able to have it with you. And if you can't wait, you just, you know, you can order the box from Sarah. Okay, so that's it for the colorways and the dyeing session. So what I wanted to tell you about the next subject I wanted to talk about is, you know, the KAL. I'm so happy to be doing the Ginny shawl KAL. Sorry, the neighbor's dog is quite excited. Must be happy to go outside. I can understand him, I can relate. So I'm all ready for, I mean, the cast on party is in a few hours now, so it's on Zoom. When you will see this podcast, it will be already done. But I just wanted to show you, because I've been showing you lots and lots of color combinations in the last 2 episodes, so I wanted to show you what I finally decided on. So I'm going to use that color, so that's the color I created for Sarah, so that's Extravaganza, as my main color. But I'm not going to knit Jimmy as it is. I mean, I'm not using the colors exactly as in the pattern indicates. I'm going to hack my own pattern. So that mainly will be for the main color, but also for the edging. I think I'm going to use that for the knitted on edging. And for the stripes and the lace pattern, I will use some minis. Yeah, that bunch of minis. So there's always the same, my trusty framboise sous acide. He's in of every party, that one. Every project, every party is there. So framboise sous acide. That's a very old colorway I dyed, I think 3 years ago. It's called Été Indien. And it's a neutral with speckles of intense pink, some green, mustard green, and blue speckles. And that one is very light on the speckles, almost semi-solid. There's Eleanor, so the fluorescent pink I dyed last Saturday. That's Champagne Rosé. I was talking to you about apéro, you see, Champagne Rosé. Mint Paluzza, just shared. And that's Déplacement de Stoke, which is a complicated name for a fluorescent yellow, but that's it, fluorescent yellow. So it's going to be very, very flashy, and I love that. I wanted to use some colors that made me happy, and you know, yeah, I think that in my head I'm already in summer vacation somewhere near, just standing by the pool with a cocktail in my hand. Yeah, That's why I'm only drinking coffee from my flamingo, from my flamingo mug those days. I'm just completely in summer in my head. So I'm really happy to be knitting Jimmy. Remember, if you don't have the pattern, you just have to drop me a message. In the last newsletter, I shared a code to download the pattern directly from Ravelry, because a lot of you reached out to let me know that you didn't have the pattern, either didn't receive it in the first place because the email got lost or something like that, or you misplaced it. So it's not a problem. What I did is that I created a special coupon code on Ravelry so that you can, you know, download it directly and put it in your library so that you don't misplace it no more, and you are sure to get it and to get updates if there are some updates after the KAL. So if you don't have it, if you're not a subscriber, you just have to subscribe to the newsletter. And if you don't have it yet, or if you don't remember where you put it and you didn't receive the last newsletter, just drop me an email and I will give you the coupon code to download it from Ravelry. Do not hesitate to join, even if the KAL has already started. I mean, it's just a call for fun. You join whenever you want. You drop out if you want. There is no obligation. And also what we are going to do this turnaround is to add a read-along. So we will read together Murder at the Vicarage. It's the first Miss Marple book from Agatha Christie. And so for those who are like me, who love to have a little planning, I put together a little, you know, plan to, with the, I split the Jimmy shawl and the book in 6, because the KAL is going to be held over 6 weeks, from this Saturday to May the 17th. So that's 6 weeks. So I split Jimmy in 6 and the book in 6, and so that you can have, you know, an outline of what you should be knitting and reading if you want to keep up to date and be finished by May the 17th. We will be discussing, well, for the pattern, it's really not important if you stick to the plan or not. For the book, we will be discussing it in the Ravelry group on the base of the planning. So that means if you're ahead of us, please don't spoil us. And if the group is ahead of you, there is a high risk that you're going to be spoiled. But we will stick to the planning as far as the discussions in the group go. So I hope you'll join us, okay? And feel free to join us even if it has already started. There is discussion threads in the group on Ravelry. There are some weekly prompts to share your progress on Instagram in a fun way, so some challenges to you know, snap some pictures, to show us your cast on. This week it's going to be show us your cast on, your most beautiful cast on pic of your Jimmy shawl. And yeah, do not hesitate to join us. It's going to be really fun. So I think I had some things to tell you, see? I like this weekly rhythm. I hope you do too. And I hope you enjoyed this little time with me in the sun. And I hope I'll be able to record another one next week. Fingers crossed, okay? So love you guys. Take care, stay safe, and see you soon. Bye-bye.